processional has been played by, thank you. Thank you. The processional was played by Mr. Schwitzgebel, the organist of this church for many years. Thank you very much. Welcome to the 56th commencement ceremony of the Leysin American School. It's a pleasure to all have you here. Before we start the ceremony, I'd like to ask everyone to put your phone on silent, turn it off, or airplane mode. I'd like to now greet the following guests. Monsieur Jean-Marc Udriot, Mayor of Leysin. Mr. Thomas Kelly, Commencement Speaker. Dr. Stephen Ott, President of the LAS Board. Dr. Christophe Ott, Member of the LAS Board. Mrs. Doris Ott, President of the Foundation Board, and Mrs. Stephanie Ott Eliasson, Member of the Foundation Board. Parents, family members, and guests, LAS, faculty and staff, and especially the class of 2017. A special thank you to Father Michel Ambroiseret for allowing us to have our graduation ceremony in his beautiful church. The founder of LAS, 57 years ago, Mrs. Sigrid Ott, passed away on April 23rd at the age of 100. She lived a truly extraordinary life. I'd like to briefly reflect on her legacy. Sigrid was born during World War I on a farm in North Dakota in the United States. She married my grandfather, Fred, in 1939. In 1945, at the end of World War II, my grandfather was transferred to Germany as a U.S. Army officer. 2 years later, she moved with her two little children to Switzerland, the birth country of her husband. In 1949, after 2 years of learning German in Bern, she started a summer program called International Ranger Camps, welcoming children and counselors from all over the world, including from countries that were at war just a few years earlier. Sigrid found great fulfillment in the impact the camps had on the lives of her children and their counselors. In 1960, she and her husband Fred founded the Leysin American School. Their students, they hoped, would return to their home countries as citizens of the world and ambassadors of peace. In 1978, my grandparents retired, but maintained a close connection with the school. Their dream of bringing young people from different cultural, linguistic, and religious backgrounds together and promoting international understanding and tolerance had been fulfilled. We also can clearly witness that today. She and her husband will be remembered as early pioneers in international education. Many of us knew that she was not only a very well-read and highly educated woman, but more importantly, a very caring and kind person. She had the unique gift of making everyone she spoke with feel special. Despite all of the challenges she underwent in life, she always knew how to make the best of difficult situations with a smile. In the last days of her life, as her health was failing, she spoke of you, parents and graduates. She mentioned she was extremely proud of the class of 2017. I'd now like to ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. I am pleased to introduce Mrs. Jan Lohman, faculty member chosen by the class of 2017 to deliver the opening words. Mrs. Lohman started working at LAS in 2013. She taught IB English and Theory of Knowledge classes, and she was the Integrated Core department head. Most recently, she has been the Belle Epoque Girls dorm head. She's a very passionate and dedicated educator working with and caring deeply about her students. We will miss her and her husband, Wynn, who has been the Director of College Counseling, as they retire back in their home country in the United States. So, Mrs. Lohman, please step forward.
Respected colleagues, distinguished guests, and sweet class of 2017. Isn't this a lovely chapel? Just being here makes me think of prayer, in particular the Our Father or the Lord's Prayer. In English, there are at least two well-known translations from the original Greek, one of which includes the word trespasses. Forgive us our trespasses. When I was 3 years old, my father, a new Foreign Service officer with the United States Department of State, was assigned to Dublin, Ireland as a consular officer. Part of his job consisted of issuing visas and passports. The school I attended was run by Irish nuns, who naturally taught me to recite the Our Father. One evening, my mother overheard me as I knelt by the side of my bed saying my prayers. Apparently, I recited, "Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our passports, as we forgive those who passport against us." For me, then and now, a prayer to be forgiven my passport and to in turn have others forgive me mine has been entirely suitable. Having lived and studied or worked in 10 countries and visited many more over the course of my life, I hope I have learned how to forgive, or more accurately, to embrace, welcome, and celebrate the diverse national and cultural identities of those around me. LAS's mission statement, developing innovative, compassionate, and responsible citizens of the world, certainly demonstrates an institutional effort to abide by the precepts of my childish prayer. It is indeed a noble enterprise, but I would submit to you that it is an impossibility unless an individual striving for such ideals has a solid sense of identity or a sense of home. Ironically, one of the ways that many of you have learned about the idea of home is through that all too familiar boarding school feeling of homesickness. Think back to when you were missing your home, to when your national or cultural or familial identity seemed most dear because you had been uprooted from it. In a few moments, the Leysin Village Choir, Les Échos des Tours, will sing both the national anthem of Switzerland and a beautiful song that's one of my favorites, Mon Alpe a deux versants, which means my Alp has two slopes. Over my 4 years in Leysin, I have loved being a part of this choir for a variety of reasons, one of which is that stalwart sense of home that my fellow choir members have. Please listen to the way the music evokes the flowering meadows, tumbling streams, and towering peaks that have made Leysin our home for the past few years. The reality, however, is that most of us associated with LAS are here temporarily. Willy-nilly, we either are or are likely to become global nomads. Another term used to describe global nomads, or the internationally mobile, is TCK, or Third Culture Kid. And some of you in the class of 2017 are classic TCKs. Your children raised in a culture other than your parental or passport country for a significant part of your development years. While many of you may have lived in your home country until you came to LAS, I feel that your boarding school experience here probably qualifies you to be categorized as TCKs. Now, there are many benefits of being a third culture kid. But we don't often stop to consider the disadvantages, and I would just like to do that now. Sorry if it's a little negative. Number one, you may find yourself somewhat ignorant of your home culture. The worst culture shock I ever had in my life was leaving high school in Venezuela and going back to university in Utah. Number two, confused loyalties. I, for instance, always root for Indonesia in the Olympics to win gold in badminton. Number three, marginality. Difficulty adjusting to cultures that distrust rather than celebrate diversity, as we have been taught to. Number four, an identity crisis, not being able to feel a sense of oneness with any nationality or culture. And five, a lack of connection, a hesitation to develop friendships because of fear of losing friends because you've done it so often. Now, if you're like me, you recognize yourself in a number of these challenges. So how do we navigate the complexities of global citizenship, that ideal to which we're all dedicated? In his book, Safe Passage, author Douglas Oba describes how 19th century sailors would get swallow tattoos to indicate that they'd survived 5,000 nautical miles and returned safely home. I'm not recommending getting tattoos, by the way. A migratory bird, the swallow has a worldwide cosmopolitan distribution. In likening third culture individuals to swallows, Mr. Oba stresses the adaptability, efficiency, and survivability of these little birds and suggests that ever mobile human beings can and should acquire similar qualities. Contemporary American essayist Anne Lamott provides another clue as to how to develop these traits. She says, "You may have seen the bumper sticker that says, 'If you lived in your heart, you'd be home now.' Now, normally, little bumper sticker thoughts, especially spoken to me as wise spiritual advice, enrage me. I listen nicely while fantasizing about poking a fork into the person's head like a baked potato. But whenever I see this bumper sticker, it spritzes me into hope. It reminds me that there is a place in me that is warm and safe and gentle. One might even say, a home." The question of finding and knowing our home, of developing a grounded sense of identity, is crucial to our well-being. And it's right there, right here, right now, inherent in each of us, available as a result of mindful reflection, no matter how much we journey. Like you, class of 2017, my husband and I are stepping eagerly into the next phase of our lives. Like snails and like turtles, we bear our true, motley, patchwork, inner kaleidoscope home with us. And it is my sincere hope that each member of the class of 2017 will be able to do the same. May we live in our hearts and make them our homes, and may we all forgive each other our passports as we forgive those who passport against us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lohman. And in fact, she already sort of introduced the next part of the program, which is the town choir Echo des Tours, which will start by singing the Swiss national anthem, followed by the second piece, which I cannot remember the title. So let's welcome the Swiss national anthem. For the first piece, I asked everyone to stand. For the second piece, you may be seated. So please stand. Thank you, Écho des Tours. Leysin is a wonderful home to our school, friendly, safe, beautiful, and open to foreigners. We, the outsiders within the town walls, are truly fortunate to be welcomed in such a warm and sharing manner. Therefore, I take great pleasure that every year the mayor and members of the municipal council delegate one from their midst to address us during assembly. So I'd like to please welcome Mr. Jean-Marc Udriot to step forward, Mayor of Leysin.
Chères familles hôtes, Mesdames et Messieurs les professeurs et collaborateurs, invités, parents et étudiants, it is always a pleasure and a big pride for municipal authorities of Leysin to participate in your annual ceremony of graduation. In my name and in the name of all our population, I sincerely address you the respectful greetings. Today is Graduation Day. This day has been made specially for you, dear students. All the attention is for you. You deserve it. You had to work very hard to obtain your diploma. In a few days, you will be back home, certainly taking away with you fond memories of the time you have spent here in Leysin. During the time of your studies, you were a member of our village, of our community. You represent for us a lot. What will be Leysin without its students? Thank you to you and your parents. The name of Leysin is known almost everywhere in the world. I like to raise the excellent collaboration with the international schools, and more particularly with the Leysin American School, who is a member of a big family, Leysinood. Our history is connected strongly with the world and is very international. Leysin American School thus immortalized this fantastic story. I have a particular thought for the family Ott, which has recently lost Miss Sigrid Ott, founder of the school with her husband, Mr. Fred C. Ott, and also honorary citizen of our community. On behalf of the Commune de Leysin, I wish to everybody the best of luck. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Udriot. I will now introduce the Senior Award recipients. So I'll describe the award and then I'll ask each of you then to briefly stand. I'd like to now start with the most improved student. This award goes to a student who has shown marked overall improvements academically, socially, and otherwise during his time at LAS. The recipient of this award is Daniel Gershman. Service to the community. This award goes to a student who is helpful to the entire school community, both students and faculty, possibly active in the Leysin community, pleasant to work with, takes the initiative to help on his own, helpful in the dormitory, in class, on trips, and all other school functions. This award goes to Yuma Yamada. ECIS Award for International Understanding. This award goes to a student who is a good representative of his own country with a positive attitude towards the life and culture of the host country able to converse in at least 2 languages, a contributing force in the life of the school with the ability to bring different people together in a sense of community, thus furthering the cause of international understanding. The recipient of this award is Gann. Trustees Award. This award is given to a graduating senior who lives the ideals of the school through academic achievement, service to the community, and international understanding. This award goes to a graduate who is recognized and will be remembered for his contributions to the school while achieving excellent academic results, tirelessly working for the community, and being a true citizen of the world. This award goes to Esri Hishamuddin. Founders Award. This award goes to the graduating student who exemplifies the ideals of scholarly pursuit and intellectual curiosity as an integral part of her life. This student embraces the quest for learning as an essential aspect of understanding her world. This award is sponsored by the late Mrs. Sigurdot, founder of LAS. The recipient of this award is So Kwan. Faculty Award. This award goes to the student who, in view of the faculty, best embodies and lives the ideals of scholarship, service, and humaneness for which LAS stands. This person should be enthusiastic about learning, is honest, helpful, liked, and respected by teachers and students, is an excellent student and contributor to the community. This award goes to Karim Fazuzyanov. The last 2 awards are academic awards only. The one aspect I'd like to share, obviously to gain these awards, it's not just based on talent, but I think more so on effort, hard work. And so I'd like to start with the Salutatorian. This honor is awarded to the senior who has taken a highly challenging academic program and who has the 2nd highest cumulative grade point average in the senior class. The recipient of this award is Gann. Valedictorian. This honor is awarded to the senior who has taken a highly challenging academic program and who has the highest cumulative grade point average in the senior class. The valedictorian of the class of 2017 is Diana Surchik. We are very proud to have Diana Surchik as our valedictorian this year. Diana is from Ukraine. She's been admitted to the New York University, King's College in London, and the University of Edinburgh. I'd like to ask Diana to step forward to address the assembly.
Friends, teachers, parents, thank you all for being here at the graduation of the class of 2017. We all knew it was coming, yet it never felt so real until this very moment. And today, I want to thank our parents for the opportunity to be here. I want to thank our teachers for their academic excellence. And of course, our friends for the life lessons they shared with us. Today, when we say goodbye to LIS, we close the door to our childhood and lock all the memories, bad and good, deep in our heart. Leysin made us realize how lucky we were to have something that makes saying goodbye so difficult. I can call Leysin my second home, and I think many will agree with me. Some of us found friends, love, talents, new possibilities. Some of us may still be searching, but I'm sure we all found what we were all looking for, the unforgettable experience of boarding school in the mountains. We will always remember ski season, ski days, daily cog rides, and spectacular views of the Swiss Alps. But what makes LS so special is the people. Dorm heads and teachers who became our second parents, our friends who became our chosen family. We all grew up here. We all became who we are today, even though we sometimes forget it. It may seem that day by day nothing changes, but if we stop and look back, everything is so different. And it may seem a little scary, and as we know, everything started out a little terrifying. When we all came here, we were all young little kids who had just left their home, who didn't know how to iron or how to use a washing machine, and still for some of us it remains a mystery. But we grew to help each other and take care not only of ourselves, but of our friends and roommates. And more importantly, we learned how to love and respect each other. Now we are sophisticated individuals who have high ambitions and aspirations in life. As a class, we're all coming from all over the world, with our cultures being so different, yet united. And from this day onwards, we can proudly call ourselves citizens of the world, who have friends on every continent. We may not know what the future holds, but we know for sure we will never be alone. We need to remind ourselves to be open to whatever comes next and to not be afraid. I wish you all a successful start of a new chapter in your life. And remember, LIS is never apart. It may be in distance, but never in heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Parents are essential to our school. They support us by entrusting their children to us, by recommending the school to family and friends, and sponsoring events to help promote the school. Parents bring in fresh ideas and support our fundraising efforts, such as contributing to the scholarship program for deserving students. A number of parents and alumni contributed to help fund the full renovation of the Magic Mountain Athletic Center last year. Carl and Evelyn Montera have been part of the LAS community since 2008, when their eldest daughter, Kristen, started studying at LAS. Today, their son, Kevin, is graduating. In the past 9 years, they have been strong supporters of the school. They've always been excellent and fair advocates of their children. They have been gracious hosts, helping promote LAS during my visits to Dhahran, Aramco in Saudi Arabia, and have participated generously in our annual fundraising efforts. Over the past 2 months, they've been wonderful parent volunteers at the school. In recognition of their contributions to the community, LAS would like to offer the Parent Award to Mr. and Mrs. Carl and Evelyn Montera. Please step forward. I would now like to introduce our commencement speaker, Mr. Thomas Kelly. Father of Chantal, who's graduating today, Mr. Kelly and his wife, Elsa, have been generous supporters, partners with the school, and advocates of their daughter. Mr. Kelly earned a bachelor's degree from Georgetown's School of Foreign Service in 1984, and 1 year later, a master's degree in Latin American Studies, also from Georgetown. He earned a second master's degree in developmental economics from Stanford University in 1994. Most of his professional career, he has been in foreign service, holding various positions in U.S. consulates and embassies around the world, like Sao Paulo, Buenos Aires, Vilnius, Santiago, San Salvador, Quito, and Paris. Between 2014 and early this year, he served as U.S. Ambassador to the Republic of Djibouti, which has the only enduring U.S. military presence in Africa. Presently, he is Raytheon International's Vice President for Foreign and National Security Affairs. Raytheon Company is a technology and innovation leader specializing in defense, civil government, and cybersecurity solutions. It's a privilege to welcome today Mr. Thomas Kelly. Please welcome him for the commencement speech.
Thank you, Dr. Ott. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, graduates, good afternoon. You know, when Dr. Ott asked me to deliver the commencement speech here, I felt honored. Speaking to you as you prepare to leave this amazing school is a real privilege. But I've got to admit, it also seemed like a great opportunity for me to do a redo from my last commencement speech, which I delivered only 38 years ago when I was graduating from high school. You know, I gave the speech that day, like Diana just did. I thought it went pretty well. And then later on, later that night, I was visiting the home of a friend of mine, and his father was there. So I asked him, hey, what do you think about my speech? And he paused for a minute and said, you know, I think that was the worst speech I've ever heard in my life. I don't know if it was too political. I don't know if he didn't like my powder blue leisure suit, whatever. He really didn't like the speech. So one of my main goals today is to not deliver the worst speech you've ever heard. So commencement speakers usually give a few words of advice during their speech. All of you seem to be doing very well without my advice. So naturally, I'm going to give you advice anyway. So here's the Cliff Notes version of what I'm going to say. I'm going to suggest 5 goals for you as you move to the next stage of your education and life. Be nice, be generous, stay calm, be audacious, and finally, don't be afraid to fail. First of all, I suggest that you be nice. I'm sure you're already very nice. You look nice enough. I was reminded about the virtues of being nice by a little 4-year-old girl who accompanied me to a ski trip to Garmisch in the Bavarian Alps many years ago. We were minding our own business, sleeping one night, when suddenly, at 4 o'clock in the morning, we were woken by a banging noise out on our balcony. So I opened the curtain to investigate, and I found myself face to face with a Scotsman. Now, how do I know he was a Scotsman? Well, he tipped me off first by being dressed head to toe in Scottish regalia, including a kilt. This is in the middle of winter. That's not really traditional Bavarian attire. Also, he was banging on the balcony door, shouting, "Let me in, let me in." I think he had had a few, maybe more than a few, and then decided to mount a mountaineering expedition on the side of our hotel, made it up four flights, and then collapsed onto our balcony. I wasn't going to let this guy, who's a total stranger, into our room, when the little girl tugged on my arm and said, "Let him in, Papa. It's really cold outside." So I did let him in, and it turned out fine. He walked through our apartment and went on to his room, but not before asking me, "What are you doing in my room?" I explained that his room was actually down the hall. William Wordsworth called the little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness as the best parts of a good man's life. He's right, and it applies to good women as well. Being nice to others will make you feel better about yourself, make others like you more, help you in your career, and mean that you're doing your part to make our society more gentle, more humane. I also suggest that you be generous, which is related to, but different from kindness. All of you are very fortunate. You're graduating from one of the best high schools in the entire world, certainly the most beautiful. When you're able to, make sure that you give back. That can be as simple as volunteering for a good cause, or it can entail making contributions so that others can enjoy what you've all had the privilege of enjoying. It'll make you feel better too. It feels good to give. One place you might consider donating to is this school, which will always benefit from your financial support. You know those shirts that they sell in London that instruct you to stay calm and do whatever? I think those are on point too. It's normal to worry, and sometimes life will throw surprises in our path that are going to stress us out. But I think that the actor Michael Caine got it right when he advised us to be like the duck, calm on the surface, but paddling like the Dickens underneath. And I was taught this lesson by a hippopotamus. When I lived in El Salvador many years ago, there was a big earthquake and did a lot of damage and knocked down a lot of walls in the city, including the walls to the municipal zoo. And a lot of animals escaped, including the most beloved animal, a hippo named Pedro. This set up a manhunt, or hippo hunt, that lasted for 2 days. So Pedro used those days to make the best out of a bad situation, cruising around town, looking for other hippos, trying to make himself inconspicuous. And he was finally found chilling out in a kindergarten classroom. So try to stay calm, like the hippo and the duck. And be audacious, too. When you take risks, you're more likely to realize your dreams. The 19th century British statesman Disraeli said, "Success is the child of audacity." What he means is that good things happen when you break out of old habits to seize new opportunities. I know an audacious fellow in my neighborhood who goes by the name of Coco. He thinks he's the toughest guy on the block, even though he's actually a little dachshund who only weighs about 7 kilos. Even though he's tiny, Coco has the audacity to believe that he's the most fearsome beast around. So he protects us from other dogs, rabbits, and especially the mailman. And I know others who are audacious too, each and every one of you. I know you're audacious because you dared to come here to a foreign country, leaving behind your friends, your pets, and most importantly, your families behind. Many of you came here with limited or no skiing or snowboarding skills, and you conquered some of the world's gnarliest slopes. I know it's not easy the first time you're flying down the ice on the north side of Bernouze, but a lot of you pulled it off. And even more impressively, you came to study with a bunch of other foreigners at a school that's really hard, and you graduated. Apparently you graduated. Because you were audacious, You'll benefit from your association with this great school for the rest of your lives. So keep taking intelligent chances when you have an opportunity to try something different. Now, the flip side of being audacious is not being afraid to fail. I think many of us make the mistake to think that it's shameful to fail, but it's not. To err is human, as the saying goes. It's brave to leave your comfort zone to a more challenging place, where failure is a very distinct possibility, or maybe even a likelihood. Believe me, all of us fail. I've failed many times in the past. I'm sure new failures await me in the future. I didn't get into every school I applied to. I didn't get every job or assignment I wanted. And I don't always say the right thing, especially when I'm speaking a foreign language. I remember when I lived in Costa Rica as a college student, and I was trying to learn Spanish. My host family asked if I liked dogs, but they said it in Spanish, so I didn't really understand what they were saying. So I was trying to be cool, so I answered a question I thought that they asked, and so I said, yeah, I love them. I love to eat them, especially juicy ones. And that really kind of freaked out my family until they realized I had misunderstood and was probably thinking about pears, not about dogs. So I had a lot of mishaps like that as I learned to speak Spanish and then other languages. But if I had given up in trying to learn Spanish, I never would have learned it, which is the language that helped me to meet Chantal's mother. And if I had always stayed in my comfort zone, I never would have learned to ski, I never would have learned to body surf, never would have learned to make great pizza, I never would have learned to do a lot of the stuff that I really love now because I wasn't afraid to be bad at it at the beginning. And by the way, for the record, I do not eat dogs. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my advice. Be nice, be generous, be calm, be audacious, and don't eat dogs. I mean, don't be afraid to fail. And when you think about it, that's another way of stating LAS's main educational goal, which is to develop innovative, compassionate, and responsible citizens of the world. And that's what all of you are. And as we remember Mrs. Sigrid Ott today, that's really what her century of life really was all about. So congratulations, graduates. With that LAS diploma in hand, you're well equipped to make the world a better place. Now go out and do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly, for those inspiring words. A person needs both roots and wings to succeed in life. Roots to know oneself and wings to grow beyond oneself. The roots have been given to our graduates by their parents, who have patiently and wisely raised their sons and daughters, chosen to send them to LAS, and today are seeing them off to universities. Let us give all parents a big round of applause for what they have done. Thank you. The wings that will carry you to greater heights have been given to you by your teachers. On a daily basis, they have encouraged you to look beyond yourself, believe that you can run faster, jump higher and farther than you ever imagined. They leave you with the ability to fly in quest of intellectual growth. Let us give your teachers a big round of applause for what they have given you. Now we come to today's highlight of the ceremony, which is the awarding of diplomas. Mrs. Lynch, Dean of the Belle Epoque campus, will be reading the name of the diplomas. I'd like to ask my father, Dr. Stephen Ott, and my brother, Dr. Christoph Ott, to join me in awarding their diplomas. I know this will be very difficult, but please, please, please hold your applause until all awards have been handed out.
All right, my lovelies, you made it this far, just a little bit further. Tariq Abu Rageb. Sami Al-Saifi. Abdul Aziz Al-Hokair. Musad Al-Huragi. Asan Balabayev. Zaure Balabayeva. Gentil Barbosa de Jesus Neto. Sena Baikos. Antonella Bertazzo. Francesca Bertazzo. Valentina Brizio. Victor Burtsev. Efe Chapkinolu. Thomas Carlock. Laura Castro. Tinghan Chang. Chiwen Chen. Charlie Chitman Kongsuk. Gabriella Dallonder. Ilya Davidov. Dina Demchenko. Ivan Dvortsov. Laura Echeverri. Karim Fazulzianov. Berwin Gann. Luis Garcia. Daniel Gershman. Angelina Golenko. Miguel Gonzalez Baca. Alexander Gurdzua. Lisa Hare. Si Xuan Hao. Benjamin Ainen. Ezra Hishamuddin. Janine Huang. Shihan Huang. Neha Jauhar. Xiaole Jiang. Sierra Johnson. So Young Ju. Chantal Kelly. Anastasia Kiku. Kazuki Kinoshita. Youngpei Ko. Takanori Kobayashi. Vladislav Kochetkov. Anastasia Kostiushko. Mitchell Kroll. Dina Kropelnitskaya. Valeria Kulik. So Kwon. Theodore Lazary. Melissa Lee. Dennis Listopad. Ekaterina Malakova. Bruna Mansinho Ho. Isabel Manson. Victor Marinescu. Itsuki Mato. Daniel Mello. Yuri Mochimaru. Simon Mogensen. Kevin Montera. Manuel Morice Kukushkina. Tomiris Nabayeva. Anastasia Nikoleva. Dennis Panda. Michael Parmenter. Amar Patel. Nikita Polyanichko. Asal Rabari. Daria Reps. Edwin Rueda. Annalie Ruther. Sabina Saifutinova. Yulia Smirnova. Anna Somova. Yulia Stanchu. Diana Surchik. Enrique Terrazas Duque. Teresa Tolo. Nat Tripataraporn. Ozge Tukek. Megan Tyree. Carlos Vasquez Costas. Carlota Vega. Yuma Yamada. Audrey Yang. Alvaro Yela. Polina Zakharova. Shin Chu. Graduates, please stand. Traditionally, the moving of the tassel at graduation is called turning the tassel, or the turning of the tassel ceremony. It symbolizes one's transition from candidate to graduate. Will the graduates now turn their tassels from right to left?
Thank you. You may be seated. Congratulations again. Now, Yuma Yamada will perform the LAS school hymn, Hail to Thee, Our Fostering Mother, composed by my grandfather and founder of LAS, Fred Ott, when he was only 16 years old and himself a boarding school student. Following the alma mater hymn, we will hear Time of Your Life by Green Bay, sung by Sandro Grucha, accompanied by his acoustic guitar. I'd like to ask you to stand for the school hymn. For the second piece, you may be seated.
Hail to thee, thy fostering mother, O Mother, hail to thee. Fly thy banner, flag of glory, emblem for humanity. From the cities to the mountains, through the forest spreads thy name. We thy children, thanks forever. Proudly we acclaim thy fame.
The class of 2017. And now the turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this desert, don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. So many photographs still printed in your life. Hang it on the shelf and look at the good times. Tattoo the memories and everything I'll try. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. Time of your life. Time of your life. I love you all.
Thank you, Sandro, and thank you, Yuma. I'd like to now ask my parents to address the graduates.
We hope that you will strive for self-improvement through study and an open mind, and that you will never stop to find excitement in learning.
We hope that you will be loyal to your friends and your family, in happiness and in sorrow, in good times and in difficult times. Loyal to your convictions, for they will carry you through the tribulations of life.
We hope that you will find love and will love beyond mutual attraction. But remember, loving is trying to make others happy. To quote the Corinthians, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices at the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends.
We hope that you will be strong and withstand the challenges of life. As written by William Henley in the final verse of his poem Invictus, it matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Stay strong.
We hope that somewhere hidden in your soul, you will remain a bit of a child that you can find joy in the small things of life, the excitement of winter's first snow, the budding flowers of spring, or the sun setting over the mountains. Keep on experiencing the beauty of the world like a child seeing it for the first time in wonderment.
We hope that you will remain a citizen of the world, actively contributing to the understanding among humankind. A citizen of the world is tolerant and understanding of other traditions and cultures. As citizens of the world, bridges artificial barriers by finding unity in being members of mankind.
We hope that you will lead a full life and experience its joys. We hope that you will find the inner strength to face, overcome, and learn from trials and difficulties, always putting them into perspective with those that other people experience.
We hope that as you experience success in life, you will not forget those less fortunate than you. There is true joy in giving and helping others.
We hope that you will remember the magnificence of the Dent du Midi at sunset and the loveliness of the first snows on the slopes above Leysin. We hope that you will be committed to maintaining the world's beauty for future generations.
And last, we hope that you, as children of LAS, will not forget your alma mater on the mountain. Write to us, we will answer. Visit us, you are always welcome.
Godspeed and au revoir.
I would now like to introduce my brother, Dr. Christoph Ott. He oversees admissions, IT, summer programs, and all support departments. He oversaw the full renovation of the Magic Mountain Athletic Center, or MAC as we call it, which was inaugurated last September. He started working at LAS in 2006, and he assumed the role of Managing Director, Head of Operations in 2012. Both he and I jointly lead the school. Please step forward for the closing words.
Proud parents, exhausted faculty, and beautiful class of 2017. At one of my first graduations working at LAS, I was asked to say a few words after the speech of my grandmother, Sigrid Ott. I was terrified. She was an inspiring public speaker. Matching her impact would be nearly impossible. Well, I must confess, my worst fears became reality. I don't think anyone remembers what I said. I felt like a midget standing on the shoulders of a giant. But I think I've learned a few things since then. And this graduation is the first one in the history of LAS since my grandmother passed away. And here I am, speaking again. And this time, I want to remember the legacy that she and her husband Fred left us. My grandmother lived a remarkable life. She was a shining light who can still inspire us in these uncertain times. She was born in a small town, a very small town in North Dakota. She lived through 2 world wars, and she lived for over half a century in the Swiss Alps, watching generations of students, like yourselves, fulfilling her values. And there were 3 values she felt were key: curiosity, perseverance, and tolerance. Curiosity. Until her last days, she stayed informed about world affairs. I must say she, like many of us, were puzzled by how her people in America chose to embrace the politics of building walls as opposed to building bridges. Perseverance. Sigrid grew up with an Icelandic heritage in Upham, North Dakota. If you know anything about Iceland and Icelanders, they don't give up easily. If they did, they would have never survived the harsh conditions of the far north. Tolerance. Fred and Sigrid Ott founded LAS in the aftermath of the Second World War. They wanted to use education to make sure that the intolerance, segregation, and destruction that they had witnessed would never happen again. With her passing, we are reminded about one thing we all share. Our time is limited, so we better make it count. As a school and as a family, we remain committed to Fred and Sigrid's values of curiosity, perseverance, and tolerance. Through you, class of 2017, we will continue to strive towards a more tolerant, kinder, and safer world. So here's my challenge to you, my proud graduates. I hope that your time has given you the practical tools and, more importantly, the values. Now it's up to you to make the place a more tolerant, kinder, and safer place. It's up to you to live Sigrid and Fred's dream. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A few announcements. All are invited for the reception at the Belle Epoque campus lawn, followed by the banquet at the Belle Epoque Dining Hall and Grande Salle. Graduation pictures will be available for purchase during the banquet. Photographers will also be there for additional pictures if you'd like to have them taken. We will be exiting the church in the opposite order of our entry. We'll start with the board, the faculty, and then the graduates. Once all the graduates have exited the church, please, guests, you may then leave. Come out. After that, outside, once everyone is outside, we will basically do the graduates will do the traditional throwing of their hats. After, we'll make our way up to the Belle Époque campus as we enjoy some music by the local town band Rose des Alpes and Alpenhorn Music. I have a last and final assignment to you graduates right now. When you get up to the Belle Époque campus, can you please return your gowns and hats? Do not forget that. All right, Mr. Schwitzgebel, recessional, please.